Israeli forces have intensified their efforts to seize Gaza City, and there have been similar attacks on Palestinians in northern Gaza. Civil defense says 4 people were killed after Israeli bombs tents housing families northwest of Gaza City. Israeli forces also hit a home in Gaza City's Tel Hawa neighborhood, killing another 4 people and injuring others. More than 1,500 homes in the Zaytun neighborhood have been destroyed so far this month. USA News' Hani joining us live from Gaza City. It just seems like these attacks, both on Gaza City but also in the other parts of Gaza as well, just seem to be getting more and more intense. Absolutely, Rob. It's everywhere. Just in the past few minutes, the sounds of explosions could be clearly heard coming from the eastern part of Gaza City, with particular focus from a Zaytun neighborhood. But throughout the night, just particularly at past midnight, the drones, the heavy artilleries and the fighter jets carried out more of these deadly attacks. And many of them were concentrated in the northern part of the Strip, an area better known as Sudania. That's off the coastal road near Bethlah, connecting the northern part of the Strip with Gaza Governorate, where a tent was targeted by a drone strike. Said it's important to highlight the vast majority of people leaving the northern eastern part of Gaza City have been sheltering in that particular area, and right now displacement is happening as follows. People are leaving dangerous area into less dangerous area because there's no safer place, but they try to based on the assessment that they make. They still hear the explosion. They can still see the shrapnels flying by, but it's not directly targeting them. But however, as of last night's attack, they have been proven to be very deadly. Even the areas that were considered as less dangerous for displaced Palestinians in the northern part of the Strip, here in Gaza City, Tel Hawa neighborhood, the densely populated area and the majority of people who were displaced from Tuf have been sheltering inside the remaining buildings and physical structures in this neighborhood were also targeted where a house was hit by drone missiles. 4 more people were killed, including children, to the central area and the city of Khanun. More people were reported killed again inside residential homes that they either own or they are sheltering in. This is the home that they leased over the past months, trying to shelter and protect themselves and their children from the unpredictable fallen bombs, as well as a tent in Al-Awasi evacuation zone. And as of now, I can't recall a day going by without reporting about attacks on Al-Masi, the very particular area that the Israeli military designated as a safe zone. That is not safe at all. In fact, there is no safe zone in a war zone, let alone it's a genocide. Honey, I understand that the UN Children's Agency, UNICEF, has been on the ground in Gaza as well. What can you tell about that? Tell us about that visit. Well, Rob, so far and since the release of the IBC report, the famine is not just something that is looming in the horizon. It's a visible reality. We've seen in many of these clinics and many of the UNICEF-supported nutrition centers, children comes in their mother's arms and already showing signs of acute malnutrition. All of these signs that any doctor would spot right away, that there is something wrong with these children. The sunken eyes, the hollow head, the fragile body. In one of these centers, we talked to a UNICEF spokesperson who walked us through what's going on in these centers. These centers are supported by UNICEF. They try to do everything possible, including bringing in supplements and other basic necessities in order to help these children. The place was overcrowded with many of the families from displacement sites. It was their 3rd visit, coming off other 2 in the morning, and that was the 3rd visit on that day, and they had to screen close to 200 children, half of them already showing acute signs of malnutrition. In fact, right at the spot, one of those children had to be taken to the Ashifa hospital because it was really deteriorating and the mother could not do anything. This is what they had to share with us about the kind of nut nutrients that are missing from the markets at the aid that are blocked on the other side, and what's available that is not sufficient in order to address the growing concerns of acute malnutrition. So we are in one of Gaza UNICEF-supported nutrition centers where families bring their children to be checked for malnutrition. The United Nations just confirmed the famine across the Strip, but the situations on the ground shows us what those words really mean. In a little bit, we're going to go inside and see many of the cases that are being screened by UNICEF staff who are visiting today this medical point and nutrition center in the heart of this displacement sites in Gaza City. It's clear on the ground that famine is absolutely ravaging Gaza City. This is our third stop today, and the other two were right on the edge of the evacuation order. And there were so many displaced families there with malnourished children. Parents in complete despair because they have run out of options. And you can see here it's again very crowded and busy. Lots of parents coming to seek support and having their children screened. I just met a father with his little 2-year-old girl who's got acute malnutrition. And she's only slowly putting on weight with the treatment that we're giving her because the situation's just so serious. You have supported Nutrition Center. What kind of assistance are you offering to these families? I know they're coming to the center to get their children checked for malnutrition. What's available for them? So first of all, they get screened. So they come over here and we do a screening of the child's arm. And then in terms of what's available, we've got prevention treatment and treatments for children who have malnutrition. So the prevention is things to try and stop them from getting sicker, particularly if they're on the edge of malnutrition. And then for the very sick children, we have a treatment called ready-to-use therapeutic food, and it's basically a medicine that's administered to children like a paste, and they take it over a series of weeks to get better. But we just don't have enough. The demand is really high and the supplies are low. Is this what we're seeing on the table? Yeah. Okay, that's true. So it might help our viewers understand what is going on, what is available here, and if it's sufficient enough or not. So this is the preventative supply I was telling you about. It's a fortified biscuit. We call it a high-energy biscuit. And this is what's given to a child to help them, or a pregnant woman, to help them stay off the edge of the cliff with malnutrition. Now, if they've already gone over the cliff, if the child is acutely malnourished, this is the treatment that we give them. And so the father I just spoke to left with a bag of this therapeutic food, and the child goes on a schedule where every week they come back to get more like a medicine. But this is only temporary. I mean, there is nothing replacing actual essential nutrients for children. Right? This is the biggest problem we have in Gaza at the moment, is that we are treating children, and then they go back after the treatment and they relapse, because there is not enough nutritious food in the market, and some of the nutrition staff I was talking to earlier today said the rate of relapse is high. And I actually met a girl who I met almost more than a year ago who had severe acute malnutrition, got better, and relapsed again. And yesterday I saw her in the hospital. So the lack of food in the market is the biggest problem. We can treat this malnutrition, but if children cannot prevent it by getting nutritious food in the markets, they will keep coming back. What are we witnessing here is not hunger. It's a man-made famine. Families are left without proper access to basic supplies in order to survive, and children's future hanged by a thread. Hani USA News from Gaza City, Palestine. Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to USA News. Reliable news, expert insight. Like Eshesh. Stay ahead.